Hello, my name is Bernie and welcome to Bernie's Studio. A year ago, I got tired of my delivery zone in Jurong East and decided to take my e-bike all around Singapore in what I call my very own tour of Singapore. And there were a lot of questions that you guys had, like where do you park your bike? And how do you ride to each zone? Well, in this episode, I'm going to share exactly how I did it so that if you're thinking of doing something similar, you know what to expect. I've broken it down to 3 parts: planning, prepping, and let's just do it. For planning, let's start with the route. It was pretty straightforward. I was trying to decide whether or not to go anti-clockwise or clockwise around Singapore. In the end, I picked the anti-clockwise route because that would mean I would start from SGNT, Newton Toa Payoh, from the middle, then moving on to the eastern part of Singapore, which is an unfamiliar place for me. Then going northwards towards Sengkang, Punggol, and then Woodlands, and then back down to the west side, which I'm pretty familiar with, and ending the tour at downtown. Second part, prepping. This is my Eco Drive 2.0 from Drive Bikes. It's pretty much the first and only e-bike I've owned in the 2+ years I've been doing food delivery. I like it a lot, it has decent handling, and it looks pretty good. The only thing that's not so great about it is the battery. It's only 10.5 Ah, which means I could only go for about 3 to 4 hours on a single charge. Here's a quick overview of my bike setup. I have my 62 MFC thermal bag with magnetic clasps. I like this size because it can fit an XL size pizza from Canadian Pizza. It has so many pockets on the back, on the sides, and even on the top, so you can load it up with your personal stuff as well as your bike tools. Here's what I had to purchase for the purpose of the tour. 1. A bike cover. I plan to cover my bike when I leave it overnight at HDB Void Decks to avoid prying eyes. 2nd, a bike pump. 3rd, a heavy-duty chain lock by Abus. This costs about $100 over. I chose this one by Abus because of its security rating as well as its cost effectiveness. My goal for the locks is to make it such a hassle for thieves that they just don't bother. So take a look at the locks that I have. I have a total of 3 locks that I'll be using. The Abus chain lock to connect the front wheel to the frame, 1 U-lock to attach the wheel to the bike parking structure, and another flexi bike lock to attach to the bike parking structure as a backup. 4th, a carrier bag. This is to hold the saddle, the battery, and all the items that I plan to bring home every day. It makes it a hassle for the thieves to steal my bike. Alright, that's prepping. 3rd, let's do this. I don't carry rain gear as most never work anyway. Believe me, I've tried all types. So here I am on a typical day carrying my stuff, hopping onto the MRT to the zone I'm going to ride on that day. When I arrive, I'll unpack all my stuff and set my bike up. I would hang the heavy locks and bike cover at a bike parking spot as I will be going back to park anyway. Then I'll go for my shift, which usually lasts for about 4 hours. After my shift, I would do the reverse. Park the bike, attach the 3 locks, cover it, grab the saddle and the battery, and head home. As you can see, it's not difficult to travel from one zone to the next adjacent zone. All you have to do is to identify the MRT station that's nearest and try to locate a parking spot from there. Now let me share with you what I've learned. The best places to park are HDB Void Decks. Find out from Google Maps which blocks are the nearest to the MRT station and start your search. Sometimes you might be pushing your bike for about 15 minutes before you find a good spot. But don't give up, there's always one. Newer HDB blocks are better because they might come with newer bike parking facilities and are mostly cleaner. Always zip your thermal bag tight before you lock. If not, you might attract either a cockroach or lizard who might use your bag as a cozy overnight bed and breakfast. Funny story. One time I was walking towards my bike, all covered up with a bike cover, then I noticed a little hump on the top of my thermal bag. I thought I'd left something there the day before, and I just did a thump motion to check it. And guess what? The thing started moving, which gave me a huge shock. Then in the corner of my eye, I saw this cute little cat on the floor, looking at me like I'd just committed the worst crime of waking it up from slumber. I guess even cats like thermal bags. One last thing. On the issue of safety, honestly, I don't think people are that hung up on stealing delivery bikes. I mean, Our e-bikes look like workhorses and are not exactly flashy Ferraris. My advice is just be stealthy. Don't put your bike in too dark or secluded spots. Try to park in areas where there's CCTV and cover your bike so it doesn't attract attention. And oh, make it as difficult as possible for thieves to steal your bike, like having 3 locks and removing the saddle and battery. Well, that's all from me. If you have any other suggestions and advice on delivering in another zone, drop them in the comments so we can all learn together. If you have any questions for me, feel free to ask in the comments as well. I'll definitely read and reply. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to this channel if you're interested in food delivery content. Until my next video, ride safe!